Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Simple Politics. So I'm so excited for today and what I'm about to bring to you guys. So Marshall Dlamini, our SG or the SG of the Economic Freedom Fighters, had a sit down with TD.
Back and forth around the MK and EFF, right? These are parties who on paper for me don't have much in common. For me, the MK party is not a leftist organization. I hear it, but I don't agree because I've looked at their policies. But you've got this progressive caucus in parliament because you're working together as...
You've got policies. MK, okay, yeah, proceed. Yeah, proceed.
Ooh, Marshall.
And let me just say, we love to see you, Marshall. We love to see you. If you are seeing me, guys, for the first time, just before I dive in, my name is Zizi Lupelwana. Please make it a point that you subscribe. It is free of charge, okay? So Marshall Dlamini came out guns blazing. He was spicy, and we love to see it. We're not complaining at all. So there's quite a few things that he touched on, but I am gonna actually play the clips. I just wanna react on a few things that he said and on a few things where I was like, there we go, right? So the first one that I want to react to is the fact that Marshall spoke and he touched on the ground forces standing up when they saw that the EFF was under attack. The ground forces stood up and they defended the organization. As much as TD, I could see that she was not agreeing, and she was like, I'm not sure about that. I'm not going to agree with you, but I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, the ground forces, they defended the organization. And I'm not playing around. They defended the organization. And I'm saying this from someone who interacts with the ground forces on a daily basis on my platform, on TikTok. And you know what? One thing about the ground forces, they love the EFF. You can never take that away from them. And I've always said, if you want to destroy the EFF, start with the ground forces, because the ground forces will love the EFF. There's no doubt about that. So I'm glad that Marshall was also acknowledging that, and I'm glad that they know that the ground forces, I'm telling you, you don't play with the ground forces. You can play far, far away, but not with the ground forces. And he's actually telling the truth as well when he says that the ground forces defended the organization even before they got a direction or a directive. Gucci, this is what we're going to do. There was no communication at that time, but we said, not with our organization. This caucus that y'all trying to build at our cost is not going to work out. And we stood firm. So shout out to Marshall for you guys, or you as an SG, for acknowledging that and being aware. And I've also heard CIC mentioning it quite a few times. So I'm really happy about that.
What made us happy is that when that resignations they happened, the membership of the EFF responded, not even leaders. The membership all over the country. That's why they ran that I'm renewing my membership. It moved all over the country without us having to say, yes, without us having to say, strategize as a leadership. We never said anywhere as CCT to say, we have to come back with a fighting back strategy. We're still trying to deal with these members. And we saw members on the ground and say, I've renewed my membership. And they did that within a short space of time, and that gives you, yes, that gives you that shows you that we've got a solid organization, and no one can destroy that organization, because the ground forces, they protected their own organization without even getting a mandate from leaders. No one. They were all over the country saying, I've renewed my membership in their own corners.
I'm not convinced by this argument that you're making, but I'm not gonna dwell on it. Why is it so different? It's not a fact. It's a campaign that was put on social media. No, it's removed from reality. Only time will tell. No, I can't agree with you.
No. But what I'm saying to you, it's a fact, because
to me, it was a campaign on Twitter.
No. Mamela, it's a fact, because the membership was renewed. I've got forms. I've got proof of payments. So it can be. It's a fact. It was renewed. It was not a campaign. Remember when we had the year of membership, 1 million, majority of the membership was expiring 2024. And when it happened, majority of those members were expired. So they renewed. So that's why I'm saying it's a fact. They've renewed them.
Okay, SG of the EFF.
And he also touched on the fact that people that want positions, they want easy things. Ours is a generational mission, so we're not gonna get there tomorrow. It's a generational mission, and I think it goes back to something that CIC also touched on when he was asked about the border policy on David's platform. And I think it's starting to make a whole lot of sense now that I'm making this video, where he said that I'm not gonna bend the fundamentals. I'm not gonna bend I'm not gonna bend our manifesto just because I wanna get votes today. This is a generation mission. So, even if it takes us 100 years, it will take us 100 years, but with these policies. So, which is an identity. Yeah, which is an identity. So we're not going to change the identity of the organization just because we want to get votes now. And I respect that. I respect that.
His views now when he says, "No, I realize that the EFF is taking forever. So I've got immediate interest of getting into power. I don't have that patience. Ours is a generational mission. It's not self-interest, not self-promotion. It doesn't matter how long it takes. As long as generations will achieve economic freedom in our lifetime, we'll be happy with that." Those that founded even the ANC in 1912, they knew that it's going to be a long journey. But there were some of them who said, look like this direction of you starting a political party talking about freedom in our lifetime is going to take forever. So it happens in political parties where leaders are saying, we want to lead now because this is about our personalities, our self-interest, self-enrichment and opportunities, and we want out. And they are all over the show now looking for those quick opportunities.
Shame to his credit, people enter politics in pursuit of power. And if he felt that it was not going to come, he made a decision where he might feel it might come soon. Now, only time, I think, will prove him right or wrong with regard to that matter.
And that can be an EFF problem.
That's it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Another thing that Marshall Dlamini touched on that I want to react on is Dr. Ndlozi. So TD put him there in a spot and he had no choice but to answer. I feel like it is the right time to answer. They had a lot of opportunities to answer like the way that he did today, and they didn't. So I just feel like maybe it's the right time. The dust has settled. Maybe whatever that was, a wall has broken down. I don't know. Whatever that was happening, I'm glad to see it calming down. And I'm glad to see the confidence in our leadership being able to acknowledge and say, no, Dr. Ndlozi is still our member. I love to see that. I appreciate that very, very, very much.
Why is it so difficult to answer questions around Mbuyiseni Ndlozi? Alpha Ramushwana, my beloved Alpha Ramushwana from my team, asked a question at a media briefing and was told about beans and kitcheners. Why is it so hard for the EFF to respond to questions, and very obvious questions, around a person that people are vested in, a person who you've sold to us? EFF presented Mbuyiseni Ndlozi to the world and said, here's our member. He's received, he's understood as a politician. And then when questions are asked when he's absent, in essence, there are no solid answers. I mean, I was at the Gauteng NPA, we heard that no, he's deployed to KZN. KZN people got a different story. Why is it so difficult to go, look, this person is in or out, this person is on suspension, this person is at home? Why is it so difficult to have a sentence to explain the question of Mbuyiseni's absence?
Let me respond directly. Mbuyiseni is the leader of the EFF. Is a CCT member of parliament. He's not suspended. He's not banned anyway.
Why was that so hard to communicate all along?
It has never been hard. That's why it's just that you guys, when we come on serious issues, you want to try and divert us and make it as if there must be a discussion about one name. We've got 66 CCT members, and those members, all of them, they've got the same status at the CCT. We've got 2,500 delegates. Now you want to reduce us to discuss names, because once we enter that space, we've got a lot of people that are watching our conference, even our own members. And every time when we meet a top journalist like you, and then they think that let's hope that the organization, let's listen just for once that what is the organization is going to be discussing. 12 discussion topics. We don't speak about them, and we speak about an individual.
That's how you get it out of the
then
way.
We reduce our organization.
That's how you get it out of the way.
Speaking of
That's
names.
why, Marshall, you get it out of the way so you can focus on bigger and more important matters. That's why you get out of the way. That's why you provide an answer, as opposed to obfuscating and then becoming a crisis. It did not need to be.
It's not
a sentence. You just did it now.
Yeah,
you just did it now, and we're gonna move on.
Crisis. That's why President said,
and we're gonna
guys,
move on. And we're gonna move on.
Let's focus. And he keeps saying,
you see what I mean? And we're gonna move on.
Sense of occasion.
And I'm moving on to the next question. I'm done.
To reduce our conference to an individual, it's unfair. We've got a conference, and all of us were expected to be that conference as delegate. He's a CCT member. That means he's a delegate of that conference. It's our conference.
Full stop.
Thank you.
And another thing that Marshall touched on, he also said that we don't have a dual membership, right? The EFF is the only thing that we have. It's the only organization that we have. We will defend it. We will defend it with everything that we have. So, so I can't tell us to sacrifice the EFF for the greater good. Not here, my loves. I'm sorry. Try next door. Sacrifice the EFF for the greater good. Never. We can never do that. We'll never sacrifice the EFF for anybody. We can work together. Our aim is one for the black people, but we are not going to sacrifice the EFF, and I love that.
Is there a way for these parties to find one another? Because there are people who actually want you to work together on some level or another.
Look, we work with all the parties in the pursuit of making sure that South Africa becomes a better country. There are opportunities for everyone. There are jobs. There's access to land. And we do that. That's why we've got relations, ATM, UDM, and we've done it before MK. And we've always been clear, even when it comes to local government, to work with reactionary parties. We coexist with racists, AfriForum and the Freedom Front Plus. Because we know that we are living in a constitutional supreme country, in a democratic country. We do that. But one thing that we're not going to do is when people, they take a decision that they are interested to destroy the EFF, whether black or white, that one we're going to defend. And that's what MK decided to do. And we're not going to fold our arms. One thing we can do is that the ngesiZulu sithi uma bekushaya kokuqala akulona iphutha lakho mase wesibili bekuphinde endaweni eyi-1 sekuyiphutha lakho, and we're not going to accept that. So they've taken that decision that their program is EFF. It's poaching members of the EFF, doing everything, and we're not going to sit back. We can't be and we're not going to do what society and people are saying, that every time they assault us and we are expected to be the bigger person. We're not going to be the bigger person. If they fight, we're going to fight back. We have an organization to defend. We've got 11 years of work that we've put here. We've got an organization that employs people, that fight for our people in the farms, in the factories, and everywhere else. That they know that in the absence of unions in South Africa, every time there's issues in their workplace, their next office is to run to the EFF. And individuals, they take a decision that this organization must be destroyed, and as leaders given a responsibility to lead at that time, and we must keep quiet. So we're not going to do that. Whether you are black or you are white, we're not going to accept anyone who wakes up and make it his program to destroy the EFF. We're going to protect this organization. It's our organization. We don't have dual membership. They've got dual membership. Ours, we've got EFF. After EFF, we've got nothing. So that's why we have to defend it.
And I want to say it's always good to see our SG. It's always good to hear from our SG. We love to see you, Marshall. And yeah, that's all I've got to say, guys. You let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what you think. There was nothing much to analyze because everything that Marshall said, I was just happy with. I was like laughing the entire time. So yeah, struggle continues, guys. Aluta continua. I'll see you guys on the next episode.